GM, welcome back to the channel. In this one, slightly different here, I'm going to show you the meal deal. Had a Round Trippers episode, which is our Monday podcast we do each and every week. And in today's Round Trippers, we actually discussed Fantom and the Sonic upgrade in some decent detail, bit of a high-level overview, and kind of the thesis as to why we've decided we may want to position into this one, and some thoughts from myself, 563, head of research at BLOCMATES, and also Hoeem, who was a special guest this week. Now, typically every Monday, it's myself, 563, and Grant. So that is the kind of usual brigade you'll be able to see. So if you do sign up for the meal deal, link down below, you'll also get access to that, a load of other information, such as project reviews, these kind of research reports that go really in depth, led by 563 and the research team. Additional to this, Sleuthmates, Dan does these on-chain sleuthing podcasts as well. Plus, we've also got things like the Discord access you can see here, and Grant Master's Thoughts. That's Grant's personal channel. He's called some absolute bangers as of late. So do check out the link down below, and then we'll just jump into the podcast from today and this whole excerpt on Fantom and the Sonic upgrade. So let's go.
Yeah, I know, Gaz, you wanted to show some Fantom. I think Hoeem's on your side there too, so go for it.
Yeah, I haven't really. Well, this is kind of like, I was away for a few days, last 4 days, and kind of one of the allocations I want to make is towards either L1, L2 kind of thing, and there's a few tokens and ecosystems in mind at the moment. But in terms of Fantom, obviously, I think there's been a notable sentiment uptick from my cohort of follows. We've got an agent Chud Post, aka Messi, down there as well, who's been obviously doing his due diligence as he does and been showing the bags here. But I think Fantom's a really good outside bet for the cycle. So currently they are obviously FTM. They're going to move over to ticker S with this Sonic upgrade, which you can see like the TPS being tested around 2,000 transactions per second, time to finality under 1 second, really quick blocks. So this is potentially going to be a Solana-esque kind of experience. Only got 345 mil of stables on there at the moment, but the L2 bridge isn't out. So I think there's an opportunity of getting in before all of the statistics for this one on DeFi Llama really start to trend hard upwards. It's also got going for it kind of that muscle memory chain that I think most people that I spoke to last cycle played around on Fantom. So I kind of feel like it's more likely you go back somewhere rather than go to a new chain. So I think that's got a positive spin on it. OGs and whales have history with this chain, and it seems to be quite ETH aligned as well. So I think generally people like Messi wouldn't go to non-ETH aligned chains, and they've obviously got big money. But I feel like it kind of sits in a comfortable category where people will experiment over there. I did notice, so he's got ecosystem plays, Equalizer, Taro, and Brush on there. If you just want to look at his short narratives that Messi posted, Equalizer is essentially the aerodrome of Sonic. Taro is going to be the hyperliquid of Sonic. Currently, it's just money market, but they're going to be bringing forward a load of stuff I can show you on. And then Brush, he says it's Andre's favorite project. So there's a spattering of ecosystem plays to dive into, and they're all really low market caps as well. But I did notice on DeFi Llama, if you go onto the volumes, a third of the on-chain volume is currently going through WeGoSwap, which is kind of a basic swapping protocol where you can LP, and I think you can lever on the LPs, if I remember. They've got an NFT exchange as well on there, but the fact that Messi's pulled up those three and ignored that one, I think highlights that there's going to be some major upgrades coming to the ones he's noted down there. So those would probably be where my attention would be drawn. With S as well, obviously new chart is pretty good for a bull market. You can't see the previous bag holders from the last cycle, but the new utility is the fact that the S token will be used to validate the L2 bridge. So there's going to be an additional incentive for the S token to be held and staked. And then in terms of Taro, this is the one that was quite interesting to me. So Andres talked about something called LevX, which will be on-chain spot leverage perps options, and he kind of sees it as, with the Sonic upgrade, something that will almost be like, this is what we're capable of with this upgrade. You can do all these things on chain. So this will be like the first truly decentralized, non-custodial, fully on chain, EVM compatible order book for spot margin perps. They're going to bring with it account abstraction, on-chain deposits as well. So currently Taro is, I think it's 10 mil market cap, and it is a money market at the moment with leverage LPs, but it's going to have a lot more products attached to it there. So you kind of are able to buy before it gets repriced into that, I'd say. So that was kind of my on-chain kind of punt. If I'm going to allocate to Fantom, I was probably going to do like, say 90% of my allocation into the FTM token and 10% into that as the kind of the more gamble play, low cap. So I think it's a really interesting one. They've also talked about airdrops, grants, and ways to get new users on board. So they're going to rerun the playbook that we saw from the previous cycle. Fantom did a good job of that previously as well. So it's kind of like the Andre factor. You've got a potential main character that'll really lead the charge for a chain, whereas the other things I'm eyeing up are like Sui, for example, but I don't really know if they've got that main character approach. I'm not even sure who's like leading the charge in terms of a forward-facing person. So I'm bullish on the fact that Fantom is, if you went through DeFi Llama and you just look at the like popular metrics, it's outside of the top 10 currently on the majority of things, which on the optimistic side, the outlook here is we can have a repricing once this upgrade takes place, because there's reasons for capital to flood in and for people to try it out. So I kind of feel like you're just before the main event actually occurring.
Stuff, man. Yeah, this brush one sounds interesting. It's NFT market. Is the NFT market hot at all on Fantom? I haven't really played around with Fantom at all.
I need to look into what it's going to be. I don't know if Hoim can chime in on this, but with Andre created Solidly, obviously, didn't he? And they had the Solidly NFTs as a way to like kickstart that network. So he's gonna. It sounds like there's going to be something to do with that with vested Sonic. I don't know too much about it. I need to do some research, to be honest.
Yeah, and you've got the equal V NFTs doing a lot of volume on PaintSwap. So you've got that, and also PaintSwap's got their own game, which uses the brush token, I'm pretty sure, and that gets shielded a lot by Andre and the Fantom team. So it's not just NFT market. It's also, you can also, it's tapping into that GameFi, however much you want to believe in that or not. But yeah,
I think that's like one of the use cases they've talked about quite a few times, though, is like GameFi, bringing like on-chain options and all these kind of things to Fantom with the upgrades. And I think what's interesting as well is like, obviously, if you go to Optimism or Base, the biggest dexes there are Aerodrome and Velodrome, which is Andre's code. They're Solidly forks. So like, he is the innovator in the space that has seen projects do absolute numbers during this start of this bull market. Now he's coming in to ship. He is main character. I think there's quite a few reasons to be bullish around what he can bring to the table here.
Yeah, he's also got 4 unreleased primitives that he'll probably ship on Sonic, and so you're going to have this Sonic. They're kind of doing like a blast-styled airdrop campaign.
Cool.
So they're incentivizing builders, but they're only looking. It's not. When they done this the first time round back in 2021, it was this kind of vamped where they, you had shitty coins basically just come in and take the FTM and then dump it. But this time they're deliberately targeting what they want to be built on Sonic and giving out. It's called gems. They're going to be calling it gems, Sonic gems. And it's up to them, the protocol, if they're going to distribute that out to people that participate in their protocol. So you got that sort of big airdrop, which, if Fantom goes to an all-time high, which is, not necessarily, but if it does, it'll be the biggest airdrop ever. just from the Sonic airdrop. And then you've got like 4 unreleased DeFi primitives that Andre will be shipping, which will cause its own network activity. Yeah, the same thing that happened on Fantom last time on the lead up to Solidly. You had crazy, I made a lot of money during that period of time where people were going crazy for these tokens to try and get in on the Solidly flywheel early. Didn't work out, but the potential's there with Andre.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's betting on the person, right? And you have to do that pretty early.
Yeah.
You'd rather do that than like join late to the party, I would think.
It
And
feels
he's an
like
innovator.
there's obviously been a pump recently since the bottom, but I kind of feel like it's obviously still really early anyway.
Yeah.
Like, we're not mature in the market cycle for Fantom, and they've got the upgrade coming. I kind of feel like it's a decent punt, to be fair.
Yeah, and
Yeah, I want to keep an eye on.
it's also fitting into that. I think there's like a big turn off in the community with low market cap, high FDV coins.
Right.
This one's the opposite. It's basically fully out there, and there'll be a little bit extra that's going to be created with Sonic. It's not much. I think it's like 4% or something, or 6%, something like that for the airdrop. So yeah, it's basically all out there, this token. So fits into that narrative where we've seen Aave doing really well and other coins doing well. That's out there, which I kind of think we need that to work in crypto if we're not going to get completely jaded. We need people that are building things and their token to be like appreciated and go up in value if it's already circulating, it's already out there. Otherwise, I think that's important.